Hey everybody, welcome to the Playing with Power podcast, the issue-by-issue retrospective on Nintendo Power Magazine. You're joining us for August of 1995, which is issue 75. On the cover, we have a Virtual Boy, Immerse Yourself 20-page 3D exclusive extravaganza, and I am your host, Ben. With me as always is my co-host, Mike.
Hey there.
And John.
Yo, I'm back.
You were gone?
In my mind.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have a terrifying cover on here. Looks like an exploded Virtual Boy, and then a demon is going to swallow your soul.
Yeah, it's like a rejected final boss from Earthbound.
It got hit with a coat hanger. That thing will stare into my soul. All right, to better explain it to people that aren't looking at it, it's this weird I don't know.
So if you
goblin kind of. It's like a swirly. Its background looks like kind of like a LSD version of Starry Night by Van Gogh, but in the middle of it is
a pixelated bush baby.
Yeah, pixelated bush baby with blue face, black relief on the face, and glowing green eyes. Yep. Absolutely terrifying.
Staring up at the Nintendo Power logo for some reason.
Who's your god now?
Yeah, then
how is your power compared to my power?
In front of that is the Virtual Boy, but kind of almost exploded in a way. They've kind of taken all the black lines and made them invisible. So you just sort of have pieces of the Virtual Boy showing up on top of this thing.
Yeah,
it looks like a CAD rendering where you have the parts all separate themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's Game Boy cardboard, and it is not that impressive looking.
And also Yoshi's Island 2, Super Mario World 2. Super Mario World 2 is coming as a power preview.
Mm-hmm. The thing that should have been on the cover, because that game is fucking beautiful.
That game is really pretty. So we'll get to it.
All right, moving on to the inside cover. We've got a new advertisement here where it's a kid looks like a downsy Adam Sandler.
Sorry, what, Mike?
I thought he was holding a dildo.
You would think that.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely something that'd be in a children's magazine.
Hey,
I think
they had the Nintendo Control Dick, okay?
This is My Girl, but shot with a camera inside the beehive, looking out at
from the bee's perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
So I always said that's my favorite part of My Girl is when the bees kill Macaulay Culkin.
The bees!
Not the bees!
So it's a kid.
What the fuck was that?
Whoa
now.
What was that?
An ad appeared on my phone, despite the fact that everything else has been quiet. So, yeah, hidden volume boost.
Thanks, Perk.
All right. What is the ad? So say survival is a natural instinct. So is curiosity. So they're I think it's a Killer Instinct player's guide, right?
Yeah.
So it's saying don't poke the beehive. Mm-hmm. Instead, get the player's guide so you know how to play our game, I guess, is the logic of the...
Yep.
All right.
Pretty much. And then we go to the table of contents. It's, as we talked about, they've got not just the Virtual Boy Special, they're also going over a number of games with it, including Mario Tennis, Galactic Pinball, Tolero Boxer, and Mario Clash. They have a special on DigiPen, which is going to Code College. They'll also be covering, for Super NES, a preview on Yoshi's Island Super Mario World 2. It says Street Fighter 2, but I think that's the Game Boy one. Phantom 2040 for Super NES. Ninja Gaiden Trilogy for Super NES. And then for Game Boy, they're covering Judge Dredd, Arcade Classics, and Earthworm Jim.
And the Epic Center will be Chrono Trigger.
Oh, right. Almost forgot that one. All right. Moving on into Player's Pulse. I'll take the first one here from Rachel Passmore from Minnesota Lake Minnesota.
Everyone smoking with Rachel because she passes more. Puff puff pass.
Make sure to read it with the accent.
It bothers me that they name towns lakes. You don't live on a lake. She's living in a houseboat.
The town is so boring. That's all it has.
That's a really generic name.
And a really stupid name for a lake.
Minnesota Lake, Minnesota. So your place name has Minnesota in it twice.
It's a place in Minnesota, and it's by the lake. I think
Really?
it explains itself.
Really creative. Yeah.
It's
Whoever
like
came up with
Arizona
that.
City, not in Arizona.
Yeah. All right. That said, I think the new Nintendo Power Online service rules. There's no limit to your coolness. The setup is really convenient and looks tasty. No, I don't want to eat it. Just curious, have you ever put a 3D picture in your magazine? I would love it if you've had one in a future issue.
Didn't the 50th issue have a hologram cover?
They had some Magic Eye stuff before.
Yeah, they did.
I think.
They did.
Yeah, guess Rachel's a fucking casual.
It says, your wishes are command, Rachel. Put on the special specs that come with this issue and be prepared for a 3D assault this month.
3D assault, is that like a Bukkake video?
A VR bukkake from the from the perspective of the Victorian caller.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Stuart Salwin of Phoenix, Arizona, writes in, I love the new Nintendo Power Online service. It is great. You can get wonderful gameplay information without having to pick up the phone. Also, it's a great way to learn more about upcoming games and systems, which brings me to the NU64. I read in the making of Donkey Kong Country, in issue 66, that DKC was made with help by Silicon Graphics, the same company that is helping to make the NU64. So, are Donkey Kong Country's graphics what we should be expecting from the new system, or is it only a taste and will just get better?
Sorry, honey. Sorry, Stuart. The real answer will be a disappointment to both those questions.
I don't know. 64's graphics. Well, I guess it depends on how you evaluate graphics. Like,
you play Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, and then you get handed a Dorito Nightmare. Yeah.
A Dorito Nightmare?
Everything's polygons. Like, you try playing GoldenEye, everything looks like it's like they just painted shit.
God, decoding your brain is...
I don't know what that has to do with Doritos.
Because they're angular and flat.
So what Mike is saying, because Super Nintendo's graphics are cleaner artistically than what you get out of the 64, even though obviously the Super Nintendo couldn't render what the 64 is doing.
No, but I figured if they used say some 3D modeling and 3D world building engines, but with 2D art, it would have done a whole lot better. But
there were some games like that, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, you got Mario. What was the Paper Mario?
Paper Mario.
That looked great. So when they stick with 2D on a system with the power of the new 64, it looked better than... I mean, you try looking at Ocarina of Time and then compare it visually to Link to the Past. Link to the Past just looks better.
I don't agree, but I understand what you're saying.
All right, let's move on.
Well, the PlayStation wasn't immune to that, too. There was a lot of cases where it should have just stuck with really lush 2D sprites instead of going for ugly 3D.
Here's the thing. If you just stick with 2D, you don't get the development into what we have today.
I know. It was the awkward puberty. It was the direction
you had to have
had to
some
go
ugly
in.
ass Spyro games in order to get
It's it's like the pimples you get now for the tits you'll get later.
All right. So what's the next person? What's the Canadian got to write in about, Mike?
Okay. What do I think of the new online service? Well, it's cool. Only a few things annoy me. For example, you need to cover more of the internet. Not everyone gets AOL. You should mention and monitor some of the many Nintendo-related Usenet groups on the net, especially since AOL cost a great deal of money. Other than that, it's nice you've joined us on the net, however belatedly. But like I said, it looks awesome. I'd go there any day. By Melissa Martin from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
So apparently snarkiness is endemic to Canada. So.
it's our in-between language between English and French. Sarcasm is the unofficial third.
Yeah, it's weird, like, to think about that there was a time when, like, AOL content, at least some of it, was exclusive to AOL.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't last too long, but...
Yep, the net became neutral, and it stayed that way, and it always will be.
The net was neutral. Oh, god damn it, Mike. That wasn't net neutrality. Like, that has nothing to do with net neutrality.
It was proprietary, wasn't it?
It's gated content, not net neutrality.
Isn't that the same thing, though?
No, it is not at all the same thing. And, by the way, net neutrality is going away. Just because people are raising a fuss about it doesn't mean that they're not going to pass it because those fucking stooges... Anyway, whatever.
Aaron Arking from Ocean City N says, I think you shouldn't waste too much time in the online service because many fans don't have computers.
Ooh.
Exactly, Aaron. He knows the future.
It's fucking Luddite.
I love how they're putting in comments from idiots that have posted on America Online.
Oh my god, the next ones. Oh my god, they don't even use addresses. This is fucking great.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Okay, the next person, go for it, John.
Alright, Gargantua from the internet writes in, this area is great. I was hoping there'd be a little info that hadn't been released elsewhere. I'm not too disappointed. Just give us the info as fast as possible when you can. As far as the artwork and ease of use of this new site, I would say it's the nicest I have seen on AOL. Thanks from all Nintendo heads. Okay.
And on deck 3559 from America Online says, I've already been a subscriber since the first issue, and now I can get my info daily instead of monthly. Thanks, Noah.
And then T-Ray2 from America Online says, this is cool, ...
All caps.
All caps.
All right, and then the last letter for this month comes from Timothy Page of Middleton, Massachusetts. The other day, I put my Nintendo Power on my brother's bed and went to lunch. When I came back, my brother was reading it, and I asked him to give it back. He refused and kept on reading. Then, after a while, he said, "How come you never told me this magazine was so cool?" Then he wouldn't even let me play my Super NES, NES, or Game Boy. I've created a monster. Alright, nerd. You let your brother beat you up. It's your own fault.
And then there's a photo here of a kid in like a Game Boy costume. Like a box, essentially, that's been painted on with a window for where the screen is, where his head can show.
Looks
and there's
great.
like 2 holes where his hands can pop out.
Yeah.
And they have a comment here saying, the only thing that would make this costume worn by Alex Androsky of Cincinnati, Ohio even cooler is if it were in a play it loud color.
Fuck, he goes for authenticity, and then you blame him for not being too modern.
We've seen Game Boy costumes before in this, but I mean, it's a pretty solid one.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Then we got some beautiful envelope art like Kirby's Dreamland 2, which is beautifully rendered. I mean, to waste all this on an envelope, you're not going to see again unless it gets printed. This was a lot of effort, but it paid off. Looks great. Then we get to see Kirby with a metal eye patch like Kano in MK3 Mortal Kirby, which is really cute. And then a decently drawn Simba on the last envelope. You fucking asshole.
Yeah, right there. You right there, John?
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Envelope section puts me to sleep. Sorry.
Oh, here you go, Mike. So there's a little thing down here. If you're in the mood to write, we're in the mood to read. Do you have a favorite movie you'd like to be made into a game? Or do you wish for a sequel to a favorite game? Send us your ideas for dream games.
Shit, I
Earthbound
did.
the movie.
And those fuckers ripped me off.
I'm so angry.
I'm the one who created Mario RPG.
No, you didn't, you
I
retard.
sent a letter to them in 1992. In 4 years' time, decent development time for contracts and shit like that, Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars comes out. And no credit given
All
to
right.
me.
Top 10 games that didn't quite make it. Mike's Life. Number 10. All right, number 10. Not So Final Fight. Number 9. Madden NFL Draft 95. Number 8. Immortal Kombat. Okay.
No
All right,
health
number
bars?
7. Yeah, right. WWF Cooked. Number 6. NBA Jelly.
I don't think you're ready
Instead
for
of
that,
NBA
Jelly.
Jam. All right, number 5, Star Squirrel. I would play the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Michael Jordan presents Minor League Baseball. Oh, snap, son!
Burn.
Number 3, Legend of Helga. All right, number 2, Super Mario Triplets, and number 1, Final Fantasy Island.
The plane. The plane.
Oh, the plane. All right,
Pass the
All
chocobo, the chocobo.
right.
All
All
right.
right, let's see, Ben.
Super NES
going.
top 10. I'll just do the last 5. Number 5, Super Metroid. Number 4, Chrono Trigger. Number 3, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Number 2, Final Fantasy 3. Number 1, Donkey Kong Country.
Mike, what's our Game Boy top 5?
Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Donkey Kong, Metroid 2, Return to Samus, Donkey Kong Land, and at 28 months, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to the Virtual Boy section here. So they have a section here that has a background that will give you epilepsy, even in print.
It looks like you remember this that movie with Sandra Bullock, The Net?
Oh God, yeah.
It looks like the way they rendered the internet, like for that movie.
Yeah. All right, so it's basically yet another article telling you about how the Virtual Boy works. It's telling you about the mirrors that flap at different frequencies, along with LED lights that flash to create the illusion of a 3D image, which is kind of cool. But they said, why isn't Virtual Boy in full color? And they said the resolution or sharpness of the images is 3 times better than it would be if blue and green LED arrays had been included. The system would also cost 3 times as much.
Wow, it would look worse.
That's what they're saying, but
Wow.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like that they can really only like have the rendering of one. That does make sense. So
Yeah, there's a screenshot of Jack Nicholson some golf, and it looks, fairly damn good for a portable system.
it's not portable. This system is not.
An ostensibly portable system.
barely.
No.
All right, so they say suggested price is $179, and they teamed up with Blockbuster Video and NBC. So it says from August through December, you can rent a Virtual Boy system for $9.99 from any of the 3,000 Blockbuster outlets in the U.S. Or steal one if you're one of John's friends.
Did you ever rent a system growing up?
No.
I rented Dreamcasts a lot. Me and my friends.
Did you really?
Rent
That's
a
funny.
Dreamcast to play like the NFL game.
Oh, yeah?
that was on there. Yeah, like I remember we would pull together the $15 or whatever it was for the weekend, and yeah,
So it says,
we were too.
was that?
We were too. It's stupid. We should have just like saved up and bought one. but
Yeah.
For whatever reason, we didn't.
So if you go with the Blockbuster rental, not only will you get to rent the Virtual Boy, you'll get 2 games for 2 nights, plus a coupon good for $10 off the purchase of Virtual Boy. In addition, NBC will run a sweepstakes through September with over $200,000 in prizes, including Virtual Boys and game packs. You can also win fantasy trips to the sets of top NBC shows such as Seinfeld, Frasier, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wow, Fresh Prince is still on the air at this point.
Yeah, that is surprising.
It seems like an earlier '90s thing to me.
There were the later years.
I think we've lost Mike.
No.
Take advantage. All right. Oh, he just got quiet for a second.
Uncle Phil's later years when diabetes set in.
He's like, I can't feel my foot.
Tonight I dine on sugar-free turtle soup.
All right, so they're showing us a handful of games that they're not showing you full versions of yet. And these are previews. I don't know if all of these got made, to be honest. So they have Virtual League Baseball from Kemco, Panic Bomber, Jack Bros, Virtual Force, and Waterworld. Based on the
Panic Bomber
movie.
looks like Candy Crush or Bejeweled.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
one of
or
those flip
Tetris.
games.
I don't think that Waterworld was ever made. But
The game I know the one I like the actual Virtual Boy that I procured through somewhat illicit means. I had Mario Tennis, and
That's up next.
maybe the pinball one. So
Well, I played the ones.
Waterworld?
So
You never
in
heard of Waterworld, John?
I've heard of it. I didn't have that with the one that was stolen.
It wasn't.
Yes, I'm
stealing.
aware of Waterworld, Mike. Yes,
I meant like Ben said that it may not have been developed. I was wondering if you.
Oh,
had
they
any
did.
information to do it.
They did make it.
Yeah, did we?
Okay.
Okay, it was released.
Well, I have a ROM for it. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's always questionable.
Yep.
I'll research that while we talk.
Okay. All right. So the next full game, as you mentioned, was they have full game coverage in here for Mario Tennis. And
Well, did you play any of these like other games? Did you play the baseball or the Panic Bomber or Vertical?
I played the ones that are being reviewed in here. So
Okay, so
the
we didn't
pinball
go
game,
find- okay.
Tolero Boxer, Mario Clash, and I also did play Super Jack Bros.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about how I played them first. So I never really played the Virtual Boy growing up. I had a friend who had it in high school, and I played it very, very briefly. And I think it was Mario Tennis or something. So in prep for this issue, I figured out a way. Someone on Reddit entered a way to use Google Cardboard along with an emulator with some special settings to be able to play it in 3D on your phone. And you do not have to play it with the red and black color. You can use black and white. So
Well, technically, it doesn't replicate what was being done in the Virtual Boy, but because of modern screens, they're able to like sort of simulate what was going on.
yeah, it gives you the same
So I will say,
idea.
like, it was true. Like, I tried it for a bit too, and it was true. Like, it looked a lot like it, but there was more depth, like, to the experience of playing the actual Virtual Boy, from what I remember. So,
Fair enough. I didn't get sick from playing it though, so it's a plus. And I was able to use my Daydream View, which could actually walk around with my head if I wanted to. So anyways, I got to experience the 3D that way. It splits it up into the two images like you would have at a movie theater kind of thing.
right.
So I don't know if they're going to do a review on Jack Bros. Do you want me to talk about it?
Sure.
It's one of the ones that everyone says, oh, you need to play as. It's kind of a weird premise. Like, you pick one of three different Jacks, as it were. You can play as Jack Frost, Jack Lantern, or Jack Ripper.
Okay.
And it says the three brothers must race the clock to reach their homes before the stroke of midnight. So it's a weird premise, but you get like a colorful character. And the idea is to go and collect all these things on a stage, essentially. And you have to avoid bombs and enemies and things of that nature. And once you finish that stage, you drop down below. And you can kind of see in the screenshots here the different layers. So you can always see a
right. Okay.
piece of like depth in the background. So it's kind of like a puzzle type game where you have to plan out your move very carefully and then go execute it. There's a timer for each stage, and if you don't do it, you die and you got to restart. So
All right.
it's all right. I didn't hate it.
I like it, says Ben.
Mario Tennis. So you played this when it was originally out. John?
Yeah. Oh, this. I mean, it played well. Though, I mean, everybody's critique of the eye strain and just... So what people never really talk about the Virtual Boy was just how awkward of a head position... Like, because you can see, like, on the image, like, how the stand kind of works. So you would, like, set the stand up, and it would be, you know, on whatever surface you have it on, and then you have to, like put your head... Like, so I guess you could put it on your bed or whatever and, like, lie down with your stomach on your bed... and like slide your face into the goggle portion,
Or lie down facing the ceiling and just plant the thing on your face.
It never it wouldn't balance like that, like because of the way that plastic grommet was. Like it wasn't. It was too heavy of a unit. It would like smash down on your face if you like tried to do that. from what I remember, or at least I never tried it that way.
I tried that in high school with my friends. It was not comfortable.
Yeah,
It's like take a VCR and put it on your face, basically.
right,
Take an original Xbox, put that on your face. You know?
right, and so like especially the tennis game was fun. Like I actually played the tennis game. I mean, I wouldn't say probably a couple dozen times. Like it wasn't like a ton, but like it was fun to play, and like just the oddness of it made it interesting enough to experiment with. But it just I don't know.
I mean, I played this in prep, and I can see the allure of it, for its time. But as just a pure like tennis game, I found it really difficult to tell when the ball was in reach of the character and the hit detection. When you can actually hit it. It felt like it was constantly off, and there's just nothing to it. I mean, you play a round of tennis basically, or you can play singles or doubles. There's no like campaign to it. There's obviously no multiplayer with it. So what can you do? And then all of the the courts, I mean, basically look the same because it has to have a black background.
Right, but they do have different, like, it's got like grass and clay from what I remember.
Yeah, it's just kind of like different fuzzy textures.
So the ball does react differently to like whatever surface you're hypothetically playing on. So at least that's coded into it.
I mean, there's better tennis games, of course, and definitely better Mario Tennis games. The 64 version is amazing compared to this.
Yes, of course. This is not the best playing game you'll ever play, but if you're able to get your hands on a Virtual Boy, or you want to go through the steps that like Ben went through to set up the virtual version of it on a Gear VR or whatever, or a Google Cardboard, it's worth because it's just such a different way of playing a game. I guess I don't know. The only thing that I think most people would have seen is, remember there was that old arcade game from the 90s that had it was like a hologram.
Oh,
remember?
Gosh, very vaguely. I never had the money to play it.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, just being quiet tonight. Did you play any of these?
No.
Did you prep for this?
I asked what my prep was, and John said he was going to handle all the Virtual Boy games himself, so he gave me two Game Boy games and a Super Nintendo game to play.
Okay, very good. All right, next game up is Galactic Pinball. It's a pinball game for Virtual Boy. So, did you play this one, John?
Back in the day, I did.
It's got like a handful of different boards, and the boards are all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I played this one too, and my main issue was the ball movement isn't terribly realistic, which really matters with a pinball game.
Right.
So I've just gotten spoiled over the last 10 years playing, everything that comes out for mobile, essentially. And
it looks like the backgrounds look cool because they've got animations and stuff to it.
Yeah.
And again, it's another thing where this is a game that makes sense to roll out on Virtual Boy, because it's got depth to a pinball field.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So it's worth checking out, but I don't think it's a must play if you only have a couple Virtual Boy titles to pick from.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't waste your time with it too much. All right, next game is called Tolero Boxer. Did you get a chance to play this?
No, I've never played this one.
Okay, I played this one, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the game for the system that I played so far. It was awesome. So, first off, this is totally cute, and you can see it right here. When the game loads, there is a picture of the game's creator, along with sort of a very rudimentary explanation about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the idea basically is that you and another human boxer face off using kind of like what's that Hugh
Chappie.
Jackman movie?
Chappie.
Not Chappie.
Oh, Rock'em Sock'em?
It's called Chappie.
No, Real Steel.
No.
Real Steel.
What am I What's Chappie?
That's that
Chappie's-
District 9 one about that robot that, he wanders around South Africa or something.
That's artificial intelligence. This is using mechanics as a marionette.
No, it is Real Steel, but wasn't... Okay, all right.
So anyways, so you put on, the idea is that you in the game are facing off against someone else who's putting on a VR goggle and VR like gloves essentially. And
Man, the Real Steel guys, like, these guys need to sue them. This is like that movie, pretty much.
yeah, they should sue them.
It's kind of like, it's Real Steel meets Pacific Rim.
Yeah. So
So is Japanese Groucho Marx the creator of this game?
I
Or is he
guess
just the pilot of the robot?
he's
Why
not the
is he
pilot.
I guess he's kind of Japanese.
I don't know, some guy with a mustache and glasses. I have to imagine this creator or somebody. I don't know. He's on the intro screen. Anyway, so it's not a versus game obviously because it's Virtual Boy. It's kind of like Punch Out in that you're a little Mac, or whatever equivalent is, nameless person, and you face off against different robot opponents. And they all have like disembodied fists compared to their like torsos and heads. And same with you. So your fists are kind of floating out there in space. And it's just like a fun game. So they have multiple attacks that they try to hit you with, and you have to respond by either dodging to the side, blocking, or like stepping back kind of thing. So you have to dodge that, and then you have to obviously like hit them. And it has really good like animation, good music, and like if you miss or if they hit you, they'll laugh at you, that kind of thing. And it gets progressively harder as you play through it. So it's basically.
This would be cool if you could do this online now.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, I don't think this one have to program it in though.
No, yeah, it would never happen. But
So
This looks like that Super Scope game, but mixed with Super Punch Out.
Yeah, it's kind of like Punch Out, but in virtual reality and with robots. So it's good. I really enjoyed it. I'd go back and play it again.
I think I played this Mario Clash game when I had it, and it never made sense to me. Like, I don't have the instructions to it.
Wow, there's
Yeah.
a chick robot. She's from
Oh,
France.
sorry.
Yeah,
I think that's like the first female boxing type thing we've seen in a game.
Well, at least makes sense for a robot to be female.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
like who didn't grow up getting a little tinkle to RC from Transformers?
Oh, I will tell you. So when you beat your opponent, I beat the first guy, and you can kind of see a screenshot of it here on page 22. He like the fight all of a sudden stops, and like the robot like just disappears from the view, and then a spotlight shows up, and it shows like the other guy like wearing a helmet, and he like takes it off and like runs away, like in shame. So there's some like behind the scenes type view.
A little
Anyways.
Dr. Wily type ending.
I'd recommend it in general, just outside of Virtual Boy. In any case, it's fun. All right, Mario Clash. So Mario Clash is basically like the original Mario Brothers. So not Super Mario Brothers, but Mario Brothers for the arcade, but now in 3D. So there's like an intro where you see a gigantic tower. You start off at the bottom of the tower. Each floor is a different level. You have to make it up to the top of the tower. You kind of get the understanding. Each level is just sort of like a series of platforms, and Mario is just supposed to take out the Koopas with shells that he can actually jump on, pick those up, and then throw them at the other Koopas that he can't jump on, like the ones with spikes and stuff.
This looks good.
It was
it looks really good. I've tried playing it, and I was never able to like make much sense of it.
I didn't care for it. I mean, you really have to like
It's
the
not- yeah.
old school Mario Brothers arcade game where you're kind of in the sewers, underground kind of thing. There's no puzzling to it. You just got to react and do stuff. It's like a old school arcade game. Not for me.
All right, on to the real star of the show.
To the real star of the show, Yoshi's Island Super Mario World 2. Did you guys play this growing up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's played this at some point. It's pretty hard to be our age and not have played at least a little bit of this game.
First
I
time
didn't play it until this issue.
First time I got to
Alright,
play.
well, I stand corrected.
First time I got to play this game was at a drug dealer's house.
What?
Yeah, there's a story.
Why were you at a drug?
I wanna hear about
why were
this
you at
story.
A drug dealer's house.
My first girlfriend brought me there, and I didn't know why. But after I got to meet Brandon, my sense memory kicked in, and I remembered smelling that same smell before. And it was
Just because they smoked pot doesn't mean they're a drug dealer, retard.
well, she did walk out with some stuff, so at least it's how it looked. And the guy's younger.
Your
brother-
brain is so fucking weird. All right, anyway, okay, all right, anyway. I'm not even gonna. Jesus Christ, it's gonna hurt. I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
Hey, I
right.
met. She found me on Plenty of Fish 10 years later. Brought me like gave me a place to meet her. So I thought, like, well, why are you bringing me to your place? And then, oh yeah, Ben knows the story. So I get to the place, and the door is open, and I'm thinking, well, why is the door open? And I see a corner of a mattress between the door, and I'm like, what? I open the door, and the bed is against the wall, but the mattress just is pushing the door open, like it cannot close unless you curl the mattress up. And then I'm just like, we talked for a bit, and I'm like, how long have you been here? She goes, oh no, this is my dealer's place. So
All right, okay, that's fair.
I'm like, boy, you never really got away from the drugs, did you? And she was talking with a bit of a lisp, and I'm like, what happened to your teeth? Oh, I lost them to meth.
So you're saying you turned down a gum job?
Yeah, so that had to, that was like the first time I was just like, wow. So this is what standards feel like.
Wow.
Wow.
And then, just last week, this girl that I had been talking to online for about 3 weeks finally met me, and she had that same lisp. And when she was talking, I was just like, oh, fuck, no. No, not another one.
Just because you have a lisp doesn't mean you're addicted to drugs, Mike.
No, but losing all your teeth by your mid-20s is kind of a sign of drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a sign of good health, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how many
know-
people suffer scurvy in this modern age?
Eat a fucking orange sometimes. You know why you don't make fun of a fat chick with a lisp?
Why?
Because she's thick and tired of it.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's still some toothless gals out there. Now you know why Obi Trice did that song. Like, these girls are out there in fucking force. Like, men, we need to take a hard stand. Ladies, you gotta have some teeth.
Fucking Mike.
Anyways,
Hashtag I'm with
Back to Yoshi's-
hashtag I'm with
back
Obi.
to- Speaking of no teeth, we have Baby Mario and Yoshi's Island Super Mario World 2.
And you say I make weird connections.
so the story is a stork is delivering baby Mario, and I'm assuming baby Luigi, and evil bad guy wizard, like Bowser's wizard.
Yeah, comic.
Yeah, that guy.
That's the guy. That's like the turtle with the staff, right?
Yeah.
He takes one of the babies hostage or back to his lair or whatever, and the other baby drops down onto Yoshi's Island, which is not just the island of one Yoshi, but the island of all Yoshis, where all Yoshis come from.
It's like a Yoshi orgy down on this island.
And the third baby goes to Dino Island and adopts the name Higgins.
He also lands directly on his head.
I've got a bee on my head.
Oh, so fucking good. Hey, you can't join us unless you got a letter on your hat. I do have a letter. I got a B.
Oh my goodness.
It's so funny.
All right, so I mean, all right. If any, despite me saying that everyone should have played this game, if you haven't, this is one of Nintendo's games that just stands out artistically. It looks like it's been drawn with crayon. They've like rendered it in a very distinctive art style.
Mm-hmm.
Has a very fluffy look to it. So it's kind of like
It's very watercolored.
if you bumped Super Mario's aesthetic up and like made it render look. It's kind of like the stopgap between like where you ended up with like Okami and like Beautiful Joe down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, just artistically, very, very, very interesting game. Plays very well. Like, what do you think of it, Ben?
I didn't play it that long. It's sort of an
Okay.
interesting game in that you're not playing Mario for once. You're playing as Yoshi, and you had to.
Yeah, Mario's really annoying
Oh.
in this game.
Play with the sound off.
Oh, I didn't get to the point where he fell off.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
At that point, you just listen to podcasts and just
You haven't experienced this game until you've had to deal with the Mario fucking. Yeah, it is really annoying.
So the play
It's almost as annoying as talking to Mike for like 10 minutes.
the play control is a bit different from Super Mario World. You eat enemies still, but then you turn them into eggs, and then you use the eggs to like throw at your enemies.
Right.
So you don't. I don't think I got anywhere where I could use like a fireball or anything like that. So
No, I don't think that Yoshi has that power.
the egg
No,
throwing
it's eggs.
is not just like straightforward, like just chuck it, in front of you. It has a little. It's hard to describe. You
it's like
press
a
it-
bubble angle thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it gives you a reticle that shows you like where you're going to be throwing it.
Yeah, so you
Like,
can press it up or down. And the goal is to like be very precise about where you're aiming things, and
It's a little disturbing that he's so willing to like throw his own like theoretical or her own children just wantingly at enemies.
I know, it's like abortion battles.
well, maybe they're overpopulated. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, obviously the island's overrun with Yoshis. so
Right?
It's time
They have
for a
enough.
purge.
Yeah,
Maybe it's like they have like a one-child policy, so you have to get rid of all the other like eggs.
maybe. Yeah. So I mean, all the levels are designed to work with this mechanic, and that's the mechanic the whole game is based around. Is that sort of timed, egg throwing mechanism. I'm not crazy about it honestly because it stops the momentum. When you think of Mario, a game, you're
Right.
just kind of running and jumping and kind of dealing with that. And this sort of stops momentum in its tracks because you got to focus on where this thing is being aimed. So
I don't know. I always just enjoy. It's so much different than all the other Mario games. Like this is, definitely like one of the more oddball Mario games.
this is the equivalent of like Super Mario Brothers 2 for Super NES, to me.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Except a lot better art.
I don't put that in the same camp because I don't like playing Mario 2 and I like playing Yoshi's Island, but I respect where you're coming from with that. So
I think they're both good, but they're different.
yeah.
Put it that way.
Anyway,
So yeah, you finish the level. Once you finish the level, you hand off Mario to another Yoshi. It's a different color. Is there any difference?
It's like a battle-based relay race.
Is there any difference between the colors of Yoshis?
No.
their ability that isn't there? I thought that like
It's been so
the type of
long.
eggs.
No, I can't imagine them having different.
I didn't seem to see a difference, but I didn't know if there was anything later on.
I love the boss battles in this. They're just like regular enemies that get puffed up due to Comex magic. Like a piranha plant now becomes like a piranha boss. And you fight boos. It's really excellent. I should play this game just for the fun of it because it's been so long. Didn't they remake Yoshi's Island for the 3DS or the DS?
I'm pretty sure they did. That sounds right.
Also, fun fact: this game features the FX2 chip
Yeah.
for those resizing enemies.
If you look
really?
on page 34, that red Yoshi, he's constipated.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. He's like holding his breath or something.
He needs to eat some Bran Koopas.
It needs more fiber.
I'm not reading that the color matters.
Okay.
So
Oh, Yoshi's matter.
yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Street Fighter 2 for Game Boy. Mike, I think you had this.
Yeah. Controls are bad. At least to me. I'm not a fighting game guy. This really shouldn't have been given to me. I didn't quite
This
care
is
for it.
like it's like Trump giving a review.
God.
Game bad. Gave to Kushner instead.
was
Kushner
unfair.
played this game. He didn't do it under my orders. It doesn't matter if I benefited. I didn't do it. Yeah, so it's
I enjoy playing Tetris a lot. My friend Putin gave it to me.
yeah, so it's Street Fighter 2 if you wanted to play it on a screen about as small as your wristwatch, and with really slow controls. So
Okay.
yeah, it's not that great. I mean,
Very good.
play it on the Super Nintendo.
All right, next section is about DigiPen. I didn't read this.
Pen, digital pencils, champions.
Fuck.
Okay.
Did anybody watch
So, yes.
Digimon for more than like 2 episodes?
Not even half an
Why
episode.
Why would I have
Not even the
watched
intro.
Digimon?
It's a
Come on, you got to admit that theme
Pokemon
song was-
wannabe, right?
No, neither of us have ever watched it, so we can't comment on it because we're not pedophiles.
Okay, I need
We don't need to
hear
know
this
what
logic.
kids are watching.
What do you mean, kids?
I don't
That
know
show
why.
came out-
Why the fuck would I know about like? It's like why would someone my age know about like Dinosaur Train or some shit other than to talk?
Because
to kids about
Digimon
it? Like,
came out like 20 friggin' years ago.
I don't care. I didn't watch Power Rangers either.
Digimon, gotta catch 'em all. Is that it?
Yeah, sure.
I know what's my destiny, Digimon.
So like Ash Ketchum died. Is that what's happened?
Well, that happened in the first
my God.
Pokemon movie, and that came out like 20 years ago.
I told you
No, it
that.
didn't
I told you that.
It
I
happened in
said
the recent movie.
I said that I just learned that there is a scene in a Pokemon movie where Ash Ketchum dies and Pikachu cries over his dead corpse. Is that not the saddest
I wanna-
thing I've ever heard?
Yeah,
I want him to Cubone it up and wear his skull.
Oh,
yeah, that's how the first movie ended, and I was just like, oh shit, they killed Ash. What the hell? And then Pikachu apparently has Lazarus tears. But in the new Pokemon movie, which I guess is like a retcon or something, now when Ash takes like a fatal blow for Pikachu, and he says like, why didn't you ever go in your egg? And Pikachu actually speaks and says, because I didn't want to be away from you. Like he finally speaks and that's what he says. And apparently people are fucking furious over it. Like they're
disturbing.
pissed off that Pikachu talks.
yeah. It's kind of like now they have Bumblebee in the Transformers movies doesn't talk, but only talks through like radio stations.
Yeah, and they fixed that in the first movie, so why did they carry that gimmick in the next movies? Like they fixed it.
Which is the transformer that looks like the cassette tape.
Soundwave.
Soundwave.
It's a satellite in the movies.
Someone was talking about a different transformer. I could have sworn, but they're like, I found my old Soundwave. Like, imagine how he experienced this being rewound with a pencil.
Well, Ravage was the cassette, so he'd be the one getting penciled.
Okay, that's what I was saying. The cassette one. Why did you say it was Soundwave?
Because
Sound-
Soundwave is the cassette player.
The player.
I said the one that looks like a cassette
There's a
tape.
few of them. There's Laserbeak,
Ravage, Rumble.
Ravage, Rumble.
Okay, alright, whatever, I'm done.
Fuck you.
I just wanted like a pencil.
This is man
into the
talk, and you
anus
get
joke.
upset.
I wanted to make my pencil in the anus joke, and you guys shat all over it. I see how it is.
Sorry, I didn't know your
Rumble's
Transformers
the only one
references.
that Rumble's the only
oil-
one that talked.
Right.
The oil has hit the anus.
Is that Olestra?
What?
Warning may cause loose stool.
Did you ever eat those?
Yeah, I think I did. I tried them out once.
I had like half a bag once, and then like I was like, my stomach's like, I'm like, what is going? Like, what ungodly abomination is going on inside me?
When the fat doesn't go into your hips, it just power slides through your intestines.
It turns your fucking intestine into like a slip and slide. Like, just comes out like a slippy
That fat has to
tortilla.
go somewhere.
Yeah, my stomach. And it wasn't just that. My stomach was like, no, like,
This is not food.
You know, you just like when you eat like gas station sushi or something. And your stomach's just like, no, you have chosen poorly.
Gas station sushi.
What the fuck is some sushi at a gas station? Hey, you want unleaded? Okay, no, over here we got the fatty tuna, we got the wasabi. Okay, what are you gonna? Okay, fill up while you fill up. Okay, come on, get over here.
I remember one time I was heading home, and like Quick Trip had a sale on like the pizzas they make there, and my roommate saw me eating Quick Trip pizza, and he's like, "Are you eating gas station pizza? Like, what's wrong with you?"
They made it.
It was hot and ready. Yeah.
Quick Trip is pretty solid, though, I must say. Like, they have a full-on kitchen and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty legit, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna find out what these assholes are doing. On the,
It's basically like video game college.
Yeah.
Right. It's like an art design school, right?
Yeah. It's programming.
Okay.
I mean, it's art design and programming. So they talk a bit about how to get in, and talk about what the students
Tuition is
do.
8,500 Canadian per year. Wow.
And they talk about how it was formed. Let's see here. This guy named Claude formed DigiPen in 1988, and then he approached Nintendo of America president Minoru Arakawa in 1992 with the idea of starting a former school, and he dug it, and the end is history.
The students finish at DigiPen by designing and implementing a complete video game for the Super Nintendo. So, I saw this really interesting series where like one of the original like Genesis programmers breaks down how they did different things, like how they were able to achieve graphically, like some of the stuff. Like he's like, so the theoretical capacity of like a Genesis cart is whatever megabytes, and like if you rendered this intro sequence, it should be this many, but we use this trick and this trick and this trick to like render the sequence so that it, you know, like it was like one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, it's really interesting to see how like the tricks that they used in order to get what they wanted out of these old, like the limitations of these old systems.
Yeah. I feel like some of the limitations are good for some developers and designers. When they have constraints, they're able to be a bit more creative in that space. Whereas, you know, you're like, oh, you can do anything now. Oh, and instead of putting in 8-bit music, you can just use it in a full orchestra if you want to. You have kind of, it changes the dynamic completely. There's like, oh shit, what do I do? You know? All right, next game.
it
For Super
mentions
Nintendo?
that in one insert that says maybe you'll play a DigiPen RPG someday on your Super NES. Did they ever publish a game for Nintendo, or did they just like, you know, start employing people at Nintendo when they graduate from DigiPen?
Probably just employ people. I don't think they actually.
I don't
took
think they were a publisher.
student
The idea is
projects.
like you make programmers that are ready for the industry. Like would be the idea.
Yeah. Okay, next game is Phantom 2040. This is a game based on a cartoon series, which I don't think went on for more than a season. It was interesting. So, I think I saw like one episode back in the day.
Oh my god! Was this cartoon before or after that Billy Zane movie?
I want to say this is after, maybe not. Anyways, so this is sort of different from the Phantom, which is like sort of the old school
The radio
comic book
serials.
hero, yeah, radio serial kind of thing, like a Green Hornet type, age of superheroes. So, anyways, the cartoon's really kind of more adult than you might expect. So there's not like adults like language or violence or breasts or anything exposed. But in terms of like the theme, it's more along the lines of, I would say, like Batman the Animated Series, and it's really kind of complex. So it's not terribly easy to follow, and it deals with a government that is oppressive and squashing down on truth, and there's different rival gangs and things like that. So pretty like mature themes, and it's in the future, 2040. So there's flying cars and all that kind of shit, right? So I didn't really understand the story much at all. You play as this blonde kid that almost immediately dons his disguise getup and becomes the Phantom, and that's the extent I know about the story. And then you play as the Phantom, so you basically walk around different levels as a platformer with a little pistol and energy pistol, and you also have a grappling hook. The grappling hook is kind of interesting because it's you can swing with it, and you can use it to continuously climb up buildings. So you use a grappling hook on the side. You ratchet it in, grappling hook again, ratchet it in. So it's kind of an interesting gameplay mechanic. The other thing that was interesting was when you die, if you run out of health, instead of like restarting back at an earlier time, your guy just like gets back up, and you're docked like a life. So you can just keep playing, which was interesting. The art style reminds me of Aeon Flux from MTV. It's sort of that weird, really kind of tall, skinny.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Sort of anime style, really angular faces, really kind of gaunt almost. And yeah, it's an odd platformer. It's not like bad or anything. It's kind of average. And there's no rhyme or reason to level layouts, and relatively difficult, I guess, unless you get your weapon upgraded at some point from this pea shooter. But
okay, on page 51, there's an insert at the top, and I just got to ask, is she like facing through him? Is she in front of him? Is she behind him? He's swinging with a girl in his arm.
I think her stomach is on his back, and she has an arm wrapped around his belly button, so to speak.
That is a really convoluted way to be holding on to somebody in mid-swing.
Yeah, art is very weird.
Well, I mean, when I'm in the sex swing, your mom holds on to me in all kinds of ways, so...
Oh, one thing I think was funny was, so you start off as the blonde kid, and like he's going to college or whatever, and the university gets taken over, and he has to defend it, and so you have to like leave, and you go to this like world map kind of thing of the city,
okay,
and then his first sentence, like talking to whatever other character he's talking to, he's like, "Well, the university blew up after I left it." Like, oh Jesus! I'm like,
guess
what?
I failed.
I don't remember that happening in the level. Like, you killed the guy, like you killed everybody, and you left. Like, why would it just blow up? Did you blow it up?
I didn't study, so I had to find some way to cover.
It was just very casually mentioned. Well, it blew up after I left.
This coverage does have like maps of all levels, so if you are looking to play this game, like download at least this part of the issue, because they map out everywhere you're supposed to go, so that's helpful.
Yep. All right.
It kind of, what was that? It has an art style that it's very reminiscent of something.
Like the Max from MTV Oddities.
Yeah. Pardon me. Maybe a bit of that. That's pretty fair.
The head. Yeah, they had that weird shit.
Power of Mike's to the power of Mike's autism.
Yes, I remember things I saw as a kid. Fuck my... I obviously had a genetic abnormality.
My God.
Are you accusing these shows of having too many vaccines in the commercials? Like, what? What's your fucking angle here, John?
Wow, that struck like a...
Okay, I just noticed something. So in the very final screenshot, before we get to the poster, on the top right, there is a screenshot next to a title that says Rebels. Could someone describe for me what's happening here?
Someone has like a sword pointed at his face.
Are we sure that's a sword?
Oh my God,
that's a really straight erection. If it's an erection.
That is a power deep throat. It's like, incoming, coming in
It's
hot.
just like pointing right at his mouth. I mean,
I'm coming
Yeah.
in hot.
man.
Oh my god. And the
right.
Phantom's just like, boy, I thought I was purple and veiny.
Jesus.
All right. And then the poster in the middle.
It kind of looks like the Shredder with his helmet off, doesn't he? At least from that weirdly pixelated screenshot.
A little bit.
Tonight I dine on your throat.
All right. Middle poster is a Killer Instinct poster, and I'm not a fan of it.
Nah, it's just like some, hey, look what I did in CAD.
Yeah, you get a lot of these, like, when the 64 generation was coming in, like, where they would, like, pre-render something for a concept. And,
You see Stalfos from behind, who's in the game, and you see this giant two-headed monster, which is not in the game.
Does he have bone testicles? Look between his legs.
He's clacking together.
He's got bone nuts.
I don't know.
I don't think that's like armor. I don't know. I don't think I have no idea.
The-
He's rocking some
the
truck
Cyclops-
nuts.
The dual-headed Cyclops kind of looks like the toothless kid from Stranger Things.
He's
Dustin.
got those Dustin lips.
Oh yeah, Dustin, right. Okay. I started watching that
It's
this
like
weekend,
Mike's
by the way.
ex-girlfriend.
I've been really enjoying Stranger Things so far.
I'm
so.
glad to hear it. That show is fucking amazing.
It's good.
They did a great job with it. You up on it?
Do you know that there's a free
Oh, yeah.
tablet game of it? And
Yeah.
it plays like Zelda, and it's fucking great. Like, you play as the Sheriff Hopper, and whenever he finds something, he holds it above his head and he jumps and smiles.
Do-do-do-do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, but I've gotten a fair bit through it.
Are you through season 2 or season 1?
Oh, for the show? Yeah, I'm through season 2. I'm up to date
Yeah,
on
I
it.
finished season
okay.
2. To me, season 2 had, like, the best ending, and I'm not saying what. I'm just saying you will be very satisfied if you care about the characters.
I will find you and I will hurt you.
I'm not going to say who dies,
All right.
but someone does.
The hammer is my penis. Fucking Ben, asshole.
Me?
What?
The hammer is my penis. When I was watching Doctor, what's his name?
Horrible.
Dr. Horrible, and like Ben walks in my room and he goes, "Oh, the hammer's my penis." I'm like, "The what now?" And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, that would have been really funny if I didn't know it was coming."
Oh, so that's the thing you referenced before I got to see it.
I deserve. In Ben's defense, I deserved it, but
You deserved it?
I mean, I'm not the easiest person to live with. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my god. Okay, now we got the Epic Center, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger.
We talked about this game already.
Yeah, more Chrono Triggery.
It's a lot of art and descriptions of what you go through in the game. Yay.
But this is like the further along in the game.
Gee, if only Ben read this, he may have enjoyed the game a bit more.
I always enjoy games that I have to go read through archaic scans of magazines in order to be able to
You
enjoy.
do realize that's the entire purpose of the fucking magazine, right?
That is required in order to enjoy a video game that I would have purchased with my own money.
I don't know, if you're saying Nintendo Power is useless, I'm starting to wonder why you were here.
I'm saying the game is useless.
Blasphemy.
No, it's fine. It has its fans. Not for me. We've been through this. Let's
Yep.
move on.
Yeah, so it tells you how to beat the Dragon Tank, how to get Chrono the best trial when he eventually gets reined up on bad charges, how to get past the Guardian bit in the Aris Dome, how to find Robo, and then tells you that there's going to be more next month. And then we talk about the game I played, Tecmo Secret of the Stars. I beat this when I was a kid.
I'm
When I got
sorry.
to see the artwork, it reminded me that I had this was a game that I had rented and played.
So is the guy in the background like trying to be Nelly with the Band-Aid on his face?
Hotness.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your armor.
All right, tell us about Tecmo.
Okay, well, I can't really tell you much about it. That's not in the magazine because it's one of those games that I did play it and then I forgot. All I can remember is that I played it, not like anything about the game sticking out in my mind. Like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, I can tell you stories, characters, music, Secret of Mana. I mean, that shit stays with you forever. This game, it's an RPG. It's playable. It looks good. And it does what it's supposed to. It just doesn't have anything memorable in it.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
It looks fine. Like, it doesn't look amazing. It just looks... It'd be one thing, like, if this had come out first, you know?
This
like,
would have
in
been
that
like...
run,
it would have been like... It would have made, like, the impression of RPGs for the Super Nintendo. If Final Fantasy
because
2...
it didn't, it just, like, blends into the noise.
If Final Fantasy
like,
2, 3,
unfortunately.
Chrono Trigger, and Secret of Mana had not already come out, this game would have been a
Yeah.
trendsetter.
I could see that.
So it's a Me Too.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
it looks like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but it plays a little bit better than that. And you start off on this island, it's just like you're literally on like you can see the entire island on almost one screen. And it's just your house, and then a volcano, and then a town. So you walk around the island, you grind a bit just to get your level up by like 1 or 2, and then get enough money to buy some better armor. And until you talk to people until one of them calls you by name. Now, I made this game interesting by naming my character Fuck. So I talk to people and they're just like, oh, fuck, there's this thing in town I need to do. Can you do it for me? Casually, that's just funny. And then it's like, fuck gets hit for 2 HP. But then I meet a guy who, like, presumes to know who I am. So all you see on the screen is, fuck? Yes? No. And then there's another one where it's just like, fuck, hurry! And then another one's like, fuck, the Honda Cruise's evil power is growing. So I would have played the rest of the game if it was a little bit more engrossing, but it was fun enough. And you know what? If you just want to find out what RPGs were like, this is like, mid-range as far as RPGs go. There are worse ones, but there are many better ones too. Well, a few better ones too. So yeah, it's all right. It's got a neat battle system. Not a battle system, an exploration system where you will swap between your younger counterparts, like the children called the Akutalians, which are elemental warriors. You acquire lightning, then you have to look for the fire, water, earth Akutalians, and then there's a group of mercenaries that have pledged themselves to your cause called the Krustra or Kustera. And they're adults. They hit harder, but they also... I don't know what their weaknesses are. I don't know why you are even existing in this game if you have stronger mercenaries. But anyway, you swap between these two, and townspeople will tell you different things. I think there's some enemies or places you can only go as kids, so you need to bring those kids. But then when you need like super hard enemies to beat, you bring in the Kusteras, and you can swap between them at any time when you're out of battle. So it's neat. They each have their own inventory. I don't know if you share the money or not. It's a game.
It's a game. All right. And they talk about
the mic seal of approval. It's a game.
I think I would have rather played Ogre Battle just to discover it.
Isn't that your dating site?
oh
You
shit.
sucker.
Oh snap! Toasty.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over Ogre Battle. Let's just go on over more details.
Let's get through classified and call it a.
Oh, yep.
Call it a.
You can get super spy codes and true lies for infinite lives, infinite energy, full weapons, or stage select.
Isn't one of the codes Bigly? No, it's Biggerly. Never mind. Infinite
Oh my
energy.
god, in
Sad.
the Ogre Battle thing, there's a headline that just says The Great Pumpkin. I was just hoping for a Charlie Brown screenshot, but no, you fight an actual massive jack-o'-lantern.
There's a diagnostic test for Mega Man X2. Oh, I'm so excited to go and play that. I'm gonna rent it. Jesus fucking. practice passwords? I don't get this for a Sequest.
Let's see
With the
here.
newfound power, you must keep the sea safe from pirates and other dangers. Some of the missions you'll face are extremely difficult, so use these to improve your chance of success. Each of these passwords will take you to one of the missions in the game and set you with 99 mini-subs. You won't be able to continue in
so
the
you can
game,
practice-
but the experience should help you out when you play the normal game.
You can. They put like a test mode thing so they could test the individual levels, and they left that in. Okay.
Consequence-free repetition.
Right.
Yogi Bear, which reminds me of my all-time favorite movie poster for Yogi Bear the movie, where it had Boo Boo, and then behind him, it was like Boo Boo's face was in the foreground, and Yogi's head filled up the rest of the movie poster. It was standing behind Yogi, and the tagline was Yogi Bear, great things come in bears.
Terrible.
Oh, Yogi 2. Yeah, that's right.
That's Jim North's latest movie, too.
Oh my god. Yeah. All right. Change, and there's some WWF Raw wrestler stat change codes, so you can modify the strength, stamina, and like and that kind of
So
stuff.
now you can make Bam Bam Bigelow hit just as hard as Doink. Was Doink an actual clown, or was this just like something made up for the game?
No,
Doink was a real wrestler.
Mike, you have to remember the whole point of wrestling is that you have like the fan favorites, but then you have to have
Heels.
like, wrestlers that are like the fans turn against.
Not everyone
Like,
can be the Harlem Globetrotters. Some people got to be
Yeah,
the
you
generals.
you can't have all Andre the Giants if you don't have Iron Sheiks. Like
You gotta have jobbers. You gotta have heels.
yeah. So Doink is definitely in that class. But that was actually one of the more interesting things about the Ric Flair documentary that ESPN put out. They were talking about it, and they were actually interviewed Hogan for one of it. I don't know if you could get to that part.
Still
Ben?
haven't watched it.
Well, like, so, I mean, it's been long enough. I'm gonna somewhat spoil it. Like, Hogan says, like, they're interviewing him, and he talks about how he was too indulgent, and he, like, he's like, this was his whole life. Like, he never was able to step away from it. Like, it was at the expense of his family. But when it comes down to it, he's the best wrestler to ever wrestle. Like, because he was so committed to making you look good.
Is that
he's
Hulk
like,
talking about Flair, or Flair talking about Hulk?
Yeah, Hulk talking about Flair. He was like, Flair would do whatever it took to sell an epic match. Like,
The Ultimate Team player.
yeah, right. Like, I mean, he played this like womanizing, like hard drinking. Like everybody wanted to be him at the same time. Like, you kind of hated him too, just because of just how in your face he was, I guess. But he said just as a technical wrestler, like it's not. He was like, it's not even close. Like, he's by far a better wrestler than I ever could be. So, but yeah, pretty interesting.
I just saw like a video of him, and like he's still in character, even if he's not like smashing people over tables. But it makes you wonder if if that personality just absorbed him, and
It did.
Rick is gone, and it's all Flair.
It kind of and as much as like I think that's part of what is going on with Trump at this point. Like I think Trump has lived his life for so long, like with this persona, like being what he identifies as.
His idea of an alpha
that
male.
he's- Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same, but I think that there is a bit of that translates into what we're dealing with.
I'm sorry, did you forget the time that Ric Flair gutted Medicare? Sorry, old folks, you're on your own. Woo!
Okay,
Well,
Trump didn't gut Medicare. If it was up to him, it would still be there. It's Paul Ryan and fucking Mitch McConnell. Trump's just not smart enough to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Trump's a populist. He wants the only thing Trump wants more than anything is for people to like him.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah, he's a baby.
So
He's a baby that just wants friends.
yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's see. There's some Force codes for Return of the
It's
that- what
extra
does it do?
lives, extra continues. to help you through the game.
Okay.
And another
And
one
then
is
what-
go
let's
straight
see.
to the credits.
And then an ogre battle. Once you
Because
defeat
that's what
everything,
you want to see in a game. You want to see
Yeah.
You want to see if Pete Ward was the programmer for this one.
So in ogre battle, if you enter the code Fire Seal, you can get to the end of the game battle. That's like extra challenging, apparently.
No, it looks like it's a secret area. So if the
Let's see. This enemy is located in the secret area of Dragon's Haven. So we're both right, but fuck you. All right. And
you're right in that it's not a boss at all. Okay, so
it says it's time to test your skill.
And the last one is Star Trek Starfleet Academy. You can have a code for extra ships. All right, that concludes the first half of this issue. We will conclude it in the second half. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you would like to find more about this podcast, please visit our website, www.planetpowerpodcast.com. You'll find links to our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our Patreon account, where you can support the show. Donate a few dollars. You can get access to extra content exclusive to Patreon donors. You can also give us a rating and review on iTunes. And I also have a special personal announcement. I will be featured as a guest on a forthcoming Graveyard Shift.
Both of us will be.
Yes.
Ah.
Did you record yours yet?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I just follow the week after.
Sweet.
You do.
I think...
So in the next 2 weeks, go figure out how to download Graveyard Shift.
yeah,
Well, it's not on Google Play. I had to figure out where to go get this stupid.
yeah.
thing.
Sheldon,
this amazing
Sheldon told me he
podcast.
fixed it. So just type in
okay.
Graveyard Shift horror, and then the only thing that should show up is the one that says like horror with Sheldon and Mike. Because there are apparently other Graveyard Shifts out there, but many of them are defunct, yet they're still hosted.
Yeah, so I'll be on that show, and I'm talking about, what was it? Christmas Horror Story
Yep.
with Will Shatner in it as a radio DJ. It's pretty decent.
And I watched Better Watch Out, which was kind of American Psycho meets Home Alone. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Solid movie, but definitely worth. It actually like the release date was like 4 days after, like 4 days before we
Oh, really? That new, huh?
Yeah, like I didn't realize that like it was not even theoretically released when I selected
It was in
so.
theaters by the time that we reviewed it, which surprised me. I'm just like, how the hell did I get a hold of it then? I mean, nothing I
Well,
got
they
said the
just-
word screener on it, so
Yeah.
I just thought it'd have been around on video.
We're-
But no, turns out, whoop.
Did your copy involve,
this-
like, people getting up in front of you?
No, they did
Theater?
a simultaneous. Remember, like when we did it with Hobo with the
Oh, yeah.
where there was like a simultaneous, and it wasn't. It was like on Amazon for like $7. It wasn't like.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right.
Anyway, well, sidetrack again.
Mike, anything else for us?
Yeah, you can hear me talk with these two guys separately and slightly more manageably on the Graveyard Shifts as we celebrate the month of Dismember with several Christmas movies.
Nice. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I'm Ben.
I'm Mike.
And I'm
And now
John.
you're playing with Power.
A Nintendo Entertainment System.